Good morning and welcome. I'm David Weinreb, the CEO of the Howard Hughes Corporation. It's a pleasure to welcome all of you. I'd like to particularly welcome Mayor Bloomberg, Council Member Chin, Board Chair Ms. Hughes, Commissioner Levin, and members of the Howard Hughes Board and other esteemed guests. Thank you for joining us today for this historic moment. The Howard Hughes Corporation is proud to be the owner and developer of the South Street Seaport. One of the world's most important trading posts, it remains an essential part of the fabric of this great city. As today marks the next phase of our journey to transform this important site into a world-class destination, I thought it would be worthwhile to share a bit about the core principles that we believe are critical in creating timeless places for generations to come. First, a passion for excellence. When I was appointed as the CEO of Howard Hughes, bringing with me a seasoned leadership team, our ultimate goal was and continues to be creating a company that will stand the test of time and be synonymous with excellence and greatness. The redeveloped Seaport will create an unrivaled destination that will become the most vibrant in Lower Manhattan, a place where exceptional retail, world-class dining, and engaging cultural events blend seamlessly against the city's most captivating waterfront backdrop, the Brooklyn Bridge. One of my favorite quotes is from Walt Disney. "If you can dream it, you can do it." Now let me speak about imaginative thinking. On a more personal level, there's a plaque in my office given to me by a former business partner that says, "What part of the word no don't you understand?" By simply removing no from our vocabulary and culture, we charge our people to think big, maximize their creativity, and produce world-class innovation. There simply are no limits. In designing the Seaport, we worked tirelessly with the acclaimed architectural firm Shop, led by Greg Pasquarelli, who's with us today, as well as an all-star roster of consultants and advisors, including Robert Futterman and his esteemed team of leasing executives at RKF, including Karen Bellatoni, to create an unparalleled experiences that was unlike any other in the city. The redeveloped South Street Seaport will include 40% more open space to the public and be highlighted by an 1.5-acre rooftop that will include a world-class restaurant, 2 outside bars, and an amphitheater that will hold up to 4,000 people, becoming the premier boutique entertainment venue in the world. While the Seaport has consistently been appealing to tourists, with over 9 million visitors in 2012, we will not be satisfied at Howard Hughes until we have inspired New Yorkers to include the Seaport on their top places to visit on a frequent basis. Another example of our creative thinking was our Sea Change program. As an integral member of the community, we felt it was important to lead the revitalization efforts after Superstorm Sandy. To that end, this past Memorial Day, we launched our Sea Change summer program, which included pop-up retail housed inside shipping containers, a food venue created with local vendors, free outdoor movies, concerts, yoga, and more. The program was highly popular with both residents and visitors alike. After visiting the program, Travel and Leisure wrote, and this is a quote, "The word South Street Seaport and hip have never been strung together by a New Yorker. That's changing. The cool factor is rising." What made the summer efforts even more special for us at Howard Hughes is that before we launched it, we announced that we were going to donate 50% of the proceeds from that program of the shipping containers to small local businesses who continue to be in need following Superstorm Sandy. The impact of Sea Change is just the beginning. Last but not least, authenticity. It's been one of my core principles throughout my life and career and is equally important to the Howard Hughes Corporation. We focus on being true to ourselves and our communities. When we enter a new market, the first thing we do is to work to understand the history of the site as well as the needs of the community. The South Street Seaport has been an essential part of New York's fabric for over 400 years. However, there has never been a more exciting time and a more important moment for the neighborhood than exists today. Fueled by this dynamic vision, the Seaport will not only be a place of historical significance, but serve as a link between a storied legacy and the future New York experience that will engage both local residents and tourists from around the world continually, drawing them to return here time and time again. And now I am honored to call to the stage the great Mayor Bloomberg, who has so tirelessly dedicated the last 12 years of his life to serving our city. Mayor Bloomberg has been an inspiration as well as a leading advocate and visionary for reimagining New York's waterfront. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Bloomberg.
Well, David, thank you, and good morning to everyone. Years ago, as the most important port in the nation's shipping capital, the South Street Seaport helped make this the world's greatest city. And today, its cobblestone streets and restored buildings tell the story of our maritime past to millions of visitors every single year. But I'm happy to say that the best days are still to come for the Seaport, and that great future really does start right here today. The new Pier 17 Center that we're breaking ground on will inject the Seaport with new life and fresh energy. It will bring close to 300,000 square feet of new retail, entertainment, and public open spaces to one of the city's most popular tourist destinations, right here in the heart of the city's fastest growing residential neighborhood. The city owns Pier 17, but construction of this new complex on the pier is entirely privately funded with more than $200 million in private investment. And that investment will bring even more visitors to the Seaport and more revenue to the city, and it will make one of New York's most scenic sites even more attractive. It will also give a big boost to the area that's still rebounding from the damage inflicted by Hurricane Sandy. While some of Pier 17 made it through the storm in relatively good shape, lower parts of the Seaport, as you know, were hit extremely hard. And the city has worked to help impacted businesses get back on their feet and reopen doors. And the Seaport has come a long way since the days after the storm. And with today's groundbreaking, we're taking another big step forward. In addition, as part of the agreement with the city, the Howard Hughes Corporation is now financially responsible for maintaining Pier 17 structure, including protecting it from future storms. And that will save the city nearly $100 million it would otherwise have had to spend on the pier. The new complex will also create something like 500 construction jobs and 400 permanent jobs in our city. And that's another reason why we're so excited to be breaking ground on what's sure to be a wonderful new addition to the Seaport, and to a stretch of East River waterfront that is in the middle of a renaissance thanks to major investments by our administration. Immediately to the south of the Seaport, the East River ferry service we introduced is a huge hit. It has proved a great, easy new ways to get to and from Lower Manhattan. South of the ferry launch, the Battery Maritime Building is in the midst of a transformation that will bring new life to the historic structure, including a new hotel and retail center. Meanwhile, that building's ferry terminal service as the gateway to the newly renovated and revitalized Governor's Island, whose development as a one-of-a-kind, world-class destination continues to progress. And to the north of the Seaport, in the other direction, we brought the East River Waterfront Esplanade and the East River Promenade, great new green spaces, bike paths, and opportunities for recreation and relaxation. All of these investments are making our waterfront more beautiful and accessible than ever before. And now with the new Pier 17 as an anchor, great things are in store for the South Street Seaport as well. So our thanks and congratulations go to the Howard Hughes Corporation and to the local leaders here today who are all working hard to build a stronger future for the area. I don't think anybody, if you went back 5 or 10 years, would have envisioned what's been happening to the waterfront all around our city have taken place. Whether it's this side of the river or across the river, whether it's down south or up north, we have something like 525 miles of coastline, and it's all become accessible and it's all developing. It tells you that this city has a great future. God bless and congratulations.
Councilmember Margaret Chin has been an important partner as we work together to make this day possible. She is consistent in her goal to improve the lives of her constituents, and she has been a great resource during our post-Sandy efforts to help the Seaport and our neighboring businesses recover and rebuild. Ladies and gentlemen, Councilmember Margaret Chin.
Good morning. I'm happy to stand here today to mark the first day of the future of Pier 17. After the devastation of Superstorm Sandy, we worked hard to get the Seaport back on its feet. And although we have come a long way, as everyone familiar with the Seaport knows, recovery has not been easy. And there is much work to be done to bring this iconic neighborhood back to its full potential as an economic engine for our city. The redevelopment of Pier 17 goes a long way toward that goal by strengthening the local economy, supporting small businesses, and bringing New Yorkers and visitors back to the Seaport. There is something for everyone in this project. The rooftop on Pier 17 will allow the public to enjoy breathtaking views of the New York Harbor, where our history began. The world-class food market will provide a wide variety of locally and regionally sourced food that represent the diversity of cultures and communities that make New York City great. Now, I'm going to talk about the museum a little bit, and I didn't hear the mayor say anything, but it is an important part of the Seaport. So I am really looking forward to the Howard Hughes Corporation supporting the Seaport Museum so that it continue to be an important part of the Seaport. As I look forward to working with all of you, I really wanted to thank our mayor for really believing in Lower Manhattan. I mean, I walked here through the East River Esplanade to come to the Seaport. I mean, the view of the East River, and just like you could really touch the water, it's been pretty amazing. And with the dock run there, all my neighbors just love it. And we are revitalizing all our waterfront. And I am looking forward to working with the Howard Hughes Corporation, because you guys are new in town, but we want to make sure that you are going to be a good partner with us. And if your vision, Dave, what you talked about, really happens, you're going to do well in New York, okay? Because you emphasize that it's important to bring New Yorkers to the Seaport. It's great to have tourists come, but the people who live in New York City, especially people who live around here, in Southbridge, in the financial district, we want to come here all the time because it's right in our neighborhood, within walking distance. And if you could do that for us, it will be a success. And I also want to thank Commissioner K. Levin, DCA, for really helping us to support the Seaport Museum, to make sure that it's still going to be here for years to come, and also President Kyle Kimball from EDC. So, Howard Hughes, we look forward to working together with you, and together with Community Board 1, we're going to make this a success. Thank you.
Chair Catherine McVeigh Hughes has been a steady hand, leading Community Board 1. Catherine and all her colleagues of the Community Board have been strong advocates for the local community and great resources as we move through the approval process. And we look forward to welcoming all of the members of the Community Board 1 and all the residents of Lower Manhattan to the grand opening of Pier 17. Ladies and gentlemen.
Today is an important step forward in the rejuvenation of our historic Seaport area, as the redesign of Pier 17 maintains open space, view corridors, and honors our maritime past by proudly docking nearby the Seaport Museum's historic vessels to create our signature skyline. Community Board 1, Howard Hughes Corporation, and our elected officials, Councilmember Chin, Mayor Bloomberg, and others have worked together to fashion a plan that helps the community by maintaining open space, view corridors, and keeping the pier open this past summer. The redevelopment of Pier 17 will revitalize the South Street Seaport area by design elements that evoke the industrial heritage of the city's working waterfront and enhance access to and enjoyment of the waterfront. The proposed project will transform the area into a premier New York City destination, again, for local residents, employees, and tourists. This is an unprecedented opportunity to revitalize the Seaport in a way that uplifts Lower Manhattan's rapidly growing community, especially after the devastation caused by Superstorm Sandy, which left the South Street Seaport severely crippled. Community Board 1 looks forward to continue to work with Howard Hughes Corporation to complete the transformation of the area in a way that benefits our community as well as the city. And thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. I will add that the mayor and I were just talking, and we're both excited to share with you that there is an agreement in principle in place regarding the Seaport Museum. There'll be more to come on that in the coming weeks, but we've got a very, very exciting plan. We've been working hard with the city, with Commissioner Levin on. It's going to be dynamic, and it's going to be another great part of the experience that's going to be created here in Lower Manhattan. And I thank Commissioner Margaret Chin as well for all her work, Councilwoman, for all her hard work as it relates to that as well. So along with the board of directors of Howard Hughes, my entire executive team and my colleagues who are here today, I want to thank our city and our community leaders. And before I say my last thoughts, I want to introduce you just briefly, just give you a glimpse to the new Pier 17 building. It's an exciting day, and it's no accident that we've gathered on the 17th to celebrate the groundbreaking of Pier 17. We're particularly pleased to mark this event with all of you as our honored guests, and I'd like to thank once again everyone who's been a part of making this happen. So many people that I couldn't possibly include everyone, so please accept my apologies. But I do want to thank again, in particular, the mayor for taking time out of his busy schedule to join us today, key members of the administration, including Commissioner Kate Levin, Kyle Kimball, and Patrick O'Sullivan from the EDC, City Planning Commissioner Chair Amanda Burden, who's a spectacular professional and someone that we enjoyed working with very much, her team at Landmarks Preservation Community, Board Chair Bob Tierney and his team, Council Member Margaret Chin, Chair Catherine McVeigh Hughes, thank you again, and all the members of the Community Board 1, as well as the executives and the Board of Directors of the Howard Hughes Corporation. It's an exciting day. We have a best-of-class team. Those people, again, led by Greg Pasquarelli of SHOP, including an entire cadre of fantastic architects that I think work 24 hours a day for us, or have for the last several years. Our preservation consultant, Elise Quaisbarth of Higgins Quaisbarth, our top-notch legal teams at Kramer Levin and Skadden Arps, Julie Greenberg and Suri Kaiser of Kaiser Consulting, our public affairs consultants, the many first-rate professionals, RKF, and many more. So without further ado, I'd like to ask the mayor, executives from the Howard Hughes Corporation, including Grant Hurlitz, the president of Howard Hughes, my partner, our CFO, Andy Richardson, and Philip St. Pierre, who's our general manager here at the Seaport, as well as Greg Pasquarelli, to join me over for a ceremonial shovel.